Very good afternoon, students. Today I am going to explain the purification methods, that is purification of water. Already we have seen some purification techniques, that is ion exchange method and the reverse osmosis process. But for civil students, some more purification techniques are there. But before going to see the purification techniques, we are having two types of methods for the purification techniques. That means we are having the two types of method for the purification of water. One is called the internal method and another one is called the external method. So, we are having the two methods, two purification methods. One is the internal method, it is also called as internal treatment, and other one is called the external treatment. First I will explain what is mean by the internal treatment and the external treatment. Afterwards I will give the examples of internal treatment and the external treatment. Internal treatment is nothing but we are adding some chemicals to the water. So, here water is the hard water. By adding some chemicals to the hard water, these chemicals are removing the hardness in the water sample. That is the internal treatment. But external treatment is nothing but we are passing the water through the externally to get the purified water. That means initially we are sending the hard water in the container and finally we will get the purified water in the external treatment. Yes, that is the difference between internal treatment and the external treatment. In the internal treatment we are adding the chemicals to the water, but whereas in the external treatment we are sending the water to the chemicals. That is the difference between internal treatment and the external treatment. Already we have seen some external treatments. Those are ion exchange method and reverse osmosis process. These two are external treatment. Along with this we are having one more external treatment, that is the zeolite process. I have given the example of the chemical methods. One is ion exchange method, reverse osmosis process, lime soda process and the zeolite process. But lime soda process is not part of our syllabus. Zeolite process is part of our syllabus. Today I am going to explain the zeolite process of that is a purification technique, and these three are the examples of external treatment. Along with that, one more example is the lime soda process or the soda lime process. And whereas internal treatments are colloidal treatment, Calgon treatment, and the another one is the phosphate treatment. So, these are the three internal treatments and these are the four external treatments. So, in example of internal treatment, colloidal treatment, Calgon method and the phosphate method. In the external treatment, ion exchange method, reverse osmosis process, lime soda process and the zeolite process. But in our syllabus, we are having two internal treatments. One is the colloidal treatment and the Calgon treatment. And in external treatment, along with ion exchange method and the reverse osmosis process, we are having one more method, that is the zeolite method. So, in today's topic, I am going to explain internal treatments, that is colloidal treatment and the Calgon treatment. Along with that, I am going to explain the external treatment, that is the zeolite method. So, first let us see what is colloidal method and the Calgon method. Here these two methods are important for the short answer questions. For 2 marks it is very important. Colloidal method is nothing but it is removing the colloidal impurities in the water sample. So, here colloidal impurities are nothing but these are the medium sized impurities. That means these are not very small size and these are not very in bulk size, but these are having the medium size, that is called the colloidal impurities. By using the colloidal method, we can remove the colloidal impurities in the water sample. In colloidal treatment, we are adding some chemicals. Those chemicals are kerosene, agar-agar and tannin. By adding these chemicals to the water sample, whatever the colloidal impurities present in the water sample, these are converts to the non-sticky precipitate. This non-sticky precipitate is removing by the blow down operation. You know what is blow down operation? Blow down operation is nothing but the filtration process. By using filtration process, we can remove the precipitate. Yes. So, simply in colloidal treatment, to the water sample adding kerosene, agar-agar and tannin. By adding these chemicals to the water sample, all the colloidal impurities are converted to the non-sticky precipitate. That non-sticky precipitate is removing by the filtration process. Yes, that is the colloidal method. So, let us assume in this container we are taking the hard water sample. This hard water sample is having some colloidal impurities, that is medium sized impurities. These are the medium sized impurities. If it is larger size impurities, at least these are settled down at the bottom of the container and directly we can remove by the filtration process. But these are not settled down at the bottom of the container. So, we are adding these chemicals, that is kerosene, agar-agar and the tannin to this. So, at one of the stage, these are converted to the precipitate, non-sticky precipitate, which is settled down at the bottom of the container. All these colloidal impurities are converted to the non-sticky precipitate. Now, this precipitate is removing by the filtration process. So, in the filter paper, we are collecting all non-sticky precipitate and in the container, we can collect the purified water, that means which is free from the colloidal impurities. And the next one, Calgon method. We do not have the phosphate method. Calgon method. Calgon method is useful to remove only the calcium impurities in the water sample. It is not removing other impurities or other salts in the water sample. We know what are the salts present in the water sample, calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. Yes. So, not only calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2, we know what are the anions present in the water sample, hard water sample. Calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 present in the form of bicarbonates, that means HCO3 minus, chlorides, sulfates and also nitrates. Yes. So, these are present in the water sample, but the method, that is the calcium method is, the Calgon method is removing only the calcium in the water sample. So, the name is indicating calcium is gone. Yes, Calgon is nothing but calcium is gone by using this method. Yes. So, in Calgon treatment, we are using one of the chemical, that is the sodium hexaphosphate. Sodium hexaphosphate is nothing but the Calgon. This sodium hexaphosphate is removing calcium in the water sample. And this calcium, by adding this sodium hexaphosphate to the water sample, the entire calcium is converted to the soluble compound. It is converted to the soluble compound. That means, it is not giving any precipitate, it is converted to the soluble compound and which is not harmful to the human being, and also it is not giving any boiler trouble. Especially these two methods, that is the colloidal method and Calgon method, these are using in the boiler treatments. Yes, we know what are the boiler troubles, we know how the scales are forming, how the sludges are forming. Here the scales especially forming due to the presence of calcium containing salts. You know how the scales are sticking to the boiler material. Here, due to sticking the scales to the boiler material, the boiler efficiency is decreasing. The boiler lifetime is decreasing due to the formation of scales on the water sample. Yes. So, especially these methods are useful for the boilers. These are not useful for the drinking purpose, but these are useful especially for the boiler material or the boiler feed water. Yes. So, here by adding the sodium hexaphosphate, a sodium hexametaphosphate, here all the calcium is removing and it is not giving any scales to the boilers. Yes, that is only the major purpose for the Calgon treatment. Yes. So, what it is removing? It is removing only the calcium in the water sample. So this is the formula of sodium hexametaphosphate. Sodium hexametaphosphate. This is sodium hexametaphosphate. This is also called as Calgon. This Calgon is removing only the calcium ions in the water sample, that means calcium plus 2. So when it is removing calcium plus 2, especially these calcium ions are replacing inside of the complex, not outside of the complex. This is called complex. Complex is nothing but the compound which we are mentioned in the square brackets, that is the complex. So these Na4 ions are replacing with the calcium plus 2 ions. So when it is removing or replacing, we will get Ca2PO3 taken 6, which is not in the form of precipitate, it is insoluble compound in the water sample. So when it is not soluble, it is forming the scales, but when it is insoluble, it is forming as a soluble compound. So when it is a soluble compound, there is no scale formation in the boiler material. So it is releasing the Na plus ions in the water sample. Yes. So this is Calgon treatment. So these are the internal treatments. The colloidal method is removing the colloidal impurities in the water sample. The Calgon treatment is removing only the calcium ions in the water sample. Yes. So now let us see the next external treatment. The external treatment is zeolite method. So zeolite method is similar to ion exchange method. You know what is ion exchange method? In ion exchange method, all the ions are removing in the water sample. Yes, that is only ion exchange method, the method which exchanges ions in the water sample. Hardness causing ions in the water sample. We know what are the hardness causing ions. These are the hardness causing ions in the water sample. So in ion exchange method, we are using the resins. Resins are nothing but the polymers. Those resins are cation exchange resin and the anion exchange resin. So what is the use of cation exchange resin? Cation exchange resin is exchanging cations in the water sample. That means it is removing cations in the water sample. Whereas anion exchange resin, it is removing all the anions in the water sample. So if we remove all the cations and anions in the water sample, we will get highly purified water in the ion exchange method. So here zeolite method is similar to ion exchange method, but in zeolite method we can remove only the cations, not anions. Yes, so zeolite method is removing the cations in the water sample. So we will get the purified water, but this water is not highly purified water like ion exchange method. Yes, so let us see the zeolite method. Zeolite method. Zeolite method is also called as permuttite method. The other name of zeolite is permuttite method. So I said you now what is the use of zeolite method. Zeolite method is removing only the cations in the water sample. But what cations present in the water sample? Calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. So by using zeolite method, we can remove calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 in the water sample. But we are having two types of zeolites. One is the natural zeolite and the artificial zeolite. Artificial zeolite is nothing but the synthetic zeolite. We can use any zeolite, but here by using natural zeolite, we can't remove all the cations in the water sample. It is not having that much capacity to remove all the cations in the water sample. But here the synthetic or the artificial zeolite method is useful to remove all the cations in the water sample. That means all calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 in water sample. Here both are having the same formula. Both zeolites are having the same formula. But here natural zeolite is having the non-porous structure. That means it is not having any pores. It is not having any holes. But whereas the synthetic zeolite is having the porous structure. So due to having the pores, it is holding all the cations in the water sample in the holes. Yes. So, here the natural zeolite is having the non-porous structure and synthetic zeolite is having the porous structure. The natural zeolite is not having more capacity to remove all the cations in the water sample, but whereas the synthetic zeolite is removing all the hardness causing ions, that means calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 ions in the water sample. The formula of zeolite is hydrated form of sodium aluminosilicate. Again I am repeating, the zeolite is nothing but hydrated form of sodium aluminosilicate. Na2O, Al2O3, X SiO2, YH2. This is the hydrated form. This is the formula of zeolite. So, X can be from 2 to 6 and Y can be from 2 to 8. X value is 2 to 6 and Y value is 2 to 8. Yes. So, that is the formula of zeolite. So, this can be mentioned as zeolite. That means it is a sodium zeolite. In the place of O, Al2O3, X, SiO2, Y, H2O, we can mention Z. So, simply this can be mentioned as sodium zeolite, that is Na2Z. So, now let us see the process of zeolite method. So, first I will draw the diagram of zeolite method. So, it is a large metallic container and it is having the inlet to send the brine solution. This is the inlet to send the brine solution, and this is the inlet to send the hard water sample. So, you know what is mean by the hard water, that is impure water, and this is the zeolite bed. We are using the synthetic zeolite because which is more powerful than the natural zeolite, which is having the more capacity to remove all the cations in the water sample. So, it is having the porous structure, it is having the pores, these are the holes. So, this is the zeolite bed. So, we know what is the formula of zeolite, that is Na2Z, or we can mention that formula. So, I am writing here Na2Z, that is a zeolite bed, and I will explain you later why we are using this inlet to send the brine solution, and this is the inlet to send the hard water sample, and this is the outlet, this is the cap for closing, and this is the outlet. Through this outlet we can collect the pure water which is free from all the cations in the water sample. So, here we can collect the purified water. Yes. So, first I will explain what is the zeolite method. So, zeolite method is nothing but which is removing all the cations in the water sample. That means calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 in the water sample. So, initially the hard water sample is passing through the zeolite bed. So, when we are passing the hard water sample through the zeolite bed, the zeolite bed is having the sodium ions. These sodium ions are replacing with the cations in the water sample. That means this hard water sample is having these cations, that means calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. So, when the hard water sample is passing through the zeolite bed, the sodium ions in the zeolite bed are replacing with the calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. That means it is holding all calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2, and these sodium ions are releasing in the water sample. That means the zeolite bed is absorbing all the cations, all the hardness causing ions in the water sample, and we will get the purified water, that means which is free from the cations in the water sample, and we will get the purified water. Yes. So, let us see what reaction takes place at the zeolite bed. So, what is zeolite formula? Na2Z. It is removing calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2, but here I am mentioning calcium plus 2 or magnesium plus 2. So, I said you now here 2 NAs can be replacing with 1 Ca, because Na is having plus 1 charge, calcium is having the plus 2 charge. So here 2 NAs can be replacing with 1 Ca. So we can write calcium zeolite or magnesium zeolite. Along with that, these 2 Na plus ions are releasing in the water sample. But at one of the stage, the entire zeolite is replacing with the calcium plus and magnesium plus 2 ions. So at the entire resin, calcium Z and magnesium Z is forming. That means at one of the stage, the zeolite is exhausting. There is no free Na plus ions to remove calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 or to replace calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. So after some time, this zeolite is not working, but we can reuse or we can recycle this resin by sending the brine solution. A brine solution is nothing but sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is the brine solution here. So by sending the brine solution through the zeolite, we know what is there at the zeolite when it is exhausting. So what is there here? Calcium and magnesium is there at zeolite. That means CaZ and Mgz is there at zeolite. Yes. So these Ca plus ions again replacing with Na plus ions in the brine solution. So we will get Na2Z here. But what is Na2Z? Na2Z is nothing but sodium zeolite. So again we can reuse or we can recycle the zeolite by sending to the brine solution or sending the sodium chloride solution. So see here, let us see the regeneration reactions here. So how to regenerate here? How to regenerate? Regeneration reaction. So what is forming here? Calcium Z and magnesium Z is forming, which is removing by sending the sodium chloride solution. But we know what is the charge of calcium and magnesium. Calcium is having plus 2 charge, magnesium also having plus 2 charge. Plus 2 can replace with plus 2, plus 1 can replace with plus 1. But here sodium is having plus 1, so it is reacting 2 moles of sodium chloride. So it is producing Na2Z, Na2Z. And what is forming here? CaCl2, MgCl2, which is forming as a precipitate. Calcium chloride and magnesium chloride, these are forming as a precipitate at the zeolite bed. But we know how to remove the precipitate. This precipitate is not removing by the filtration process. This precipitate is continuously washing with the water to remove the precipitate. Yes. So when we are washing with the water, it is removing all the precipitate in the water sample and we can get the pure zeolite, that is a sodium zeolite. Yes. So this is zeolite method. But this zeolite method is not giving highly purified water like ion exchange method and the reverse osmosis method, because it is removing only the cations in the water sample. It is not removing anions in the water sample. So with this we have completed unit 1. Yes, in the unit 1 we have completed all the topics now. Thank you so much.